Stop everything. What I'm about to tell you will shake the foundation of the NFL as we know it. This isn't just another rumor, not some fleeting speculation. This is a full-blown, bombshell insider revelation that's causing shockwaves through every front office, every team, every agent, and every fan desperate for answers. We're talking about a superstar, an elite player, a game-changer whose name has not yet been spoken, but whose impact is already echoing in the corridors of power across the league. Sources close to the Baltimore Ravens organization have just dropped a bombshell that's so explosive, it could rewrite the entire offseason playbook. The phones in Baltimore's war room. They're ringing off the hook, confidential meetings, encrypted calls, secret negotiations, in what insiders are now calling the most intense, most clandestine deal of the decade. No, it's not a small trade, not a minor signing. This is about adding a player so transformational, so disruptive, that the Ravens are willing to bend every rule to make it happen. The question is, who is this player? What superstar are they prioritizing over everything else? My sources just confirmed something huge, something that's kept under wraps for weeks, possibly months. Top brass, the kind of people who never leak a word, they've now fully shifted gears. This isn't just about roster needs, it's about destiny. It's about a franchise that's been stuck in the mud, searching for that missing piece, that final puzzle to catapult them into the elite echelon of the NFL. And now, it's happening. But here's the kicker. The real secret is even bigger, and I guarantee you haven't heard the half of it yet. This isn't just a rumor. It's a covert operation so secretive that only a handful of insiders know the full scope. The Ravens are hellbent on making history. They're willing to break the bank, bend the cap, and pull off what many would call impossible. The question is, who can they possibly be targeting? What player is so coveted that it's causing a league-wide silent panic? The answer, my friends, is coming soon. But trust me, you're not ready for what's next. Because when I tell you that it's not just a matter of skill, but of legacy, of turning a franchise's fortune around, well, you better listen. The clock is ticking. The next 48 hours, they could be the most critical in Ravens history. And if you want to be the first to know, if you want to see inside the league's most guarded secret, you better stay tuned, because what I'm about to reveal will leave you breathless. Now let's set the stage. The Baltimore Ravens, a team with a rich history of defensive dominance, gritty grit, and legendary moments, are in a moment of profound crisis. After finishing the 2025 season with an 8-9 record and missing the playoffs for the second year in a row, after so many years of playoff heartbreak and near misses, they realize they are missing that one final piece. That piece that takes them from good to great, from unpredictable to unstoppable. For years, the Ravens have built their identity around their ferocious defense, their relentless pass rush, and a culture of toughness. But in recent seasons, cracks have started to show. The aging of stars like Odafe Oweh and David Ojabo has left a void. Their linebacker core struggled to pressure the quarterback consistently. The secondary, while talented, lacked the explosive pass rush needed to turn games on a dime. The offense. Solid but not explosive enough to keep pace with the league's high-octane offenses. And then, whispers of a trade emerged. Quiet meetings in hotel conference rooms, covert calls to agents, diplomatic whispers behind closed doors. The Ravens' front office, under new head coach Jesse Minter, fresh from a stint with the Chargers and known as a defensive innovator, is meticulously plotting their next move. And behind the scenes, a crystal-clear target is emerging, an edge rusher capable of transforming their defense into a nightmare for opponents. All signs point to a player who fits this mold perfectly. Tall, powerful, explosive, a true game wrecker. But here's the key. The player has a recent injury history, and his contract status makes him a prime trade target. Is this a last-ditch effort for the Ravens to make a run, or a strategic reset, a way to ensure long-term dominance? No one outside the inner circle knows for sure, but one thing is certain. They are all in. Now, who is this mystifying target, and why is Baltimore so obsessed? Let me take you into the epicenter of this operation. Okay, now it's time for the big reveal, the player at the heart of this game-changing move. I'm talking about Bradley Chubb. Yes, Bradley Chubb, the former first-round pick, the Pro Bowler, the elite edge rusher who's been through the battles of the league and still remains one of the most disruptive linebackers in football. And for the Ravens, he's not just a target, he's the target. Let's deep dive into the man whose name is about to be etched into NFL history anew. At 29 years old, Bradley Chubb is a surgically precise combination of power and finesse. Standing tall at 6'4", weighing in at 269 pounds, he's built like a tank and moves with a rare explosiveness. Since entering the league as the 5th overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, Chubb's career has been marked by flashes of brilliance, relentless pressure, and a true knack for coming up in clutch moments. In his early years with the Denver Broncos, Chubb shattered expectations, tallying 12 sacks as a rookie, not just good, but elite. Over his career, he's amassed 45.5 sacks, with a peak of 12.5 sacks in 2020, and has been named to the Pro Bowl twice, including a recent nod in 2023, where he showed flashes of his former dominance. Last season, an injury hampered him, torn ACL in Week 17 of 2023, but his resilience and talent remain undeniable. Let's break down what makes him special. Chubb's explosive first step, his bull rush, active hands, and relentless motor turn offensive tackles into statues. His ability to dissect blocking schemes and consistently pressure the quarterback is what makes him a nightmare on the edges. His game film? It's filled with highlight reel plays, game-changing forced fumbles, and tackles for loss that shift the momentum in seconds. And what about his contract? Well, he inked a 5-year, $110 million extension with Miami, a deal that guarantees him $63.2 million and averages roughly $22 million per season. But here's the kicker. He's entering the final year of that deal in 2026, with no guarantees left beyond this season. That makes him a prime candidate for a team looking to strike a deal before free agency, especially given Miami's cap constraints. His recent stats: in 2025, he played 17 games, recording 47 tackles, 8.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. He's been a force, even with injury setbacks. And crucially, his presence is the kind of boost the Ravens desperately need, a proven pass rusher capable of elevating their defense from good to legendary. Why is Chubb perfect for Baltimore? Because the Ravens' identity is built on relentless pressure, on causing chaos up front. Chubb can be the catalyst, the player who commands double teams, creates chaos in the backfield, and opens up opportunities for the secondary to thrive. His addition could turn their defense into an absolute nightmare for any quarterback, inflicting the kind of pressure that results in turnovers, sacks, and game-winning plays. But that's where it gets even more fascinating. Behind the scenes, the race for Chubb's services is heating up. Rumors indicate that rival teams like the Jets, Bills, and even the Chiefs have made preliminary calls. Miami, meanwhile, sees Chubb as a valuable trade asset, especially with his contract nearing the end and cap space tight. Sources tell me that Baltimore's GM, Eric DeCosta, has been working in the shadows, orchestrating a deal that could cost them big, possibly a high draft pick or multiple high-value assets. Inside sources speak of bilateral negotiations, deadlines looming, and a race against the clock. The NFL's most influential agents are in heated discussions, balancing the players' needs, Miami's demands, and Baltimore's aggressive pursuit. And coach Jesse Minter, he's seen as the perfect architect to integrate Chubb into Baltimore's defense. His aggressive, schemes-based approach can maximize Chubb's impact. The emotional reaction from Minter: intense. He knows this could be the difference between a one-and-done season and a deep playoff run. Now let's analyze the financial implications, because this isn't just about talent, it's a chess game of dollars and cents. Baltimore's salary cap? It's tight, but with some creative restructuring and possible releases, like older vets or players with bloated contracts, they can fit Chubb comfortably. His projected cap hit in 2026, roughly $20 million, which could be managed with a restructuring or a pre-June 1 cut of a player earning a similar amount. What about the scheme fit? The Ravens' defense under Minter is predicated on relentless pressure, blitzes, stunts, and aggressive pass rushing. Chubb's skill set is tailor-made for that. He can line up across from Odefoe or even with David Ajabo, forming a fearsome duo capable of dominating games. Statistically, next season, expect Chubb to return to double-digit sacks, perhaps even pushing towards 12-15 if he stays healthy. His presence will elevate every other defender, freeing up linebackers and secondary players to make plays. Remember, in NFL history, blockbuster trades like the one that brought Von Miller to the Rams or the Steelers acquiring Minka Fitzpatrick reshaped their defenses overnight. This could do the same for Baltimore. And speaking of that impact, the ripple effects extend beyond just the X's and O's. The Ravens are in a league-wide panic. Rivals are watching, worried about losing ground, worried about Baltimore's new army on the edge. The fans. They're in frenzy, already envisioning a defense that rivals the legends of the past, a squad that could finally carry Baltimore back to the Super Bowl. As we approach the critical hours ahead, the next 48 hours will be defining. This isn't just a trade, it's a statement. A declaration that Baltimore is back on the map, ready to dominate with one of the league's most feared pass rushers. The entire league's eyes are on this deal, and the league's top insiders say this could be the move that shifts the entire balance of power. Imagine the headlines. Ravens shock NFL, acquire elite pass rusher, set sights on Super Bowl. Think about the social media chaos, the trade buzz, the countless discussions about how Baltimore finally unlocked its true potential. This isn't just a rumor, it's a revolution. So I ask you, are you ready for the truth? Are you prepared for the biggest NFL story of 2026? Because once that deal drops, once Bradley Chubb dons the purple and black, everything changes. The countdown has begun. And trust me, you haven't heard the last of this story. Because what's coming next, the final secrets, the full details, will blow your mind. Stay tuned, stay alert, because the NFL's future is about to be rewritten. And you're at the epicenter of the greatest insider scoop of the year.